I've said it time and time again. It is not the time to panic. It is the time to take action and take your preparedness into your own hands and to make sure that you are controlling what you can control. Yeah, the world is freaking crazy. So let's learn about how we can be prepared all the time for everything, well, no matter what it is. Food. Whether you buy a little bit at a time from the grocery store or bulk buy or whatever, or a mix of, or whatever you decide to do or whatever is in your budget, just get something. A little something, a few cans of food, it doesn't matter. Just get a little something every time, every month, whatever is in your budget, just get something. Stock up on food. This is going to be worth more than cash, especially if we're living in a society in which rationing is happening, right? So if you have plenty of food, you won't ever have to worry. Of course, with food, you're going to need water. Stock up on bottled water, start collecting rainwater, start filling containers with water, freeze your water. There's a million different ways. In addition to water, you're probably going to want some sort of water purification, especially if you are storing rainwater. I have a bunch of blog posts and stuff on my website about water purification and all that. Also, I think you guys should be joining my newsletter because I have tons of tips and advice and new blog posts and challenges on my website to help you get better prepared. First aid and medicine. Woo! You want all kinds of first aid and medicine. You want lots of natural medicines, such as, medicinal medicines. I make my own salves. I know how to make my own tinctures, these kinds of things, as well as modern medicines like over-the-counter medications, Jace antibiotics delivered to your door. You want plenty of first aid supplies, trauma kits, as well as boo-boo kits, whatever you can get your hands on. Bulk pre-made kits, get it all, because first aid will definitely come in handy, especially medicine. Lots of medicine. Start growing food now. Start doing it, okay? Get seeds, get some containers. No matter where you live, yes, even in apartments, you can grow vertically indoors. You can start growing food right now. You can start going to your local community garden to learn how to grow. You can start going to your local universities and gardening centers, master gardeners, and learn how to grow food. This is not the time to be like, oh, I'll just grow it in the apocalypse. No, grow it now. Now, start learning now. You really need to learn how to cook more from scratch. And this is especially important because when you are using more ingredient items like what you're going to be getting from the store, the canned foods, frozen foods, you're going to be getting bulk items. Like if you're wanting to stock up on wheat berries, well, do you know how to grind and use wheat berries and actually bake with it? It's a little bit different than all-purpose flour. So learn how to actually cook with the things that you are storing and learn to just cook from scratch. We live in a time of information. So you want to learn how to cook something like a casserole or tomato soup from scratch? Go look up recipes online. Do those recipes. Find out how incredibly easy it is. And then stock those ingredients so that you can always have that stuff no matter when. And you're like, hey, I know how to make tomato soup now. And I have all the ingredients always because I stock up on it and I can just make it. Ta-da! Morale boosters like DVDs, as well as we have an external DVD player. We also have like a PlayStation and things that we can play videos, DVDs on. We can power our TV or just our laptop so we can watch, a DVD. Lots of board games. We love board games. We have tons of board games. We get like a new board game every month. This is so important. It's morale for the whole family, especially when you have kids like we do. Just get all the board games, toys, crafts, and books. All the books, okay? While the internet is filled with knowledge, you know what else is filled with knowledge? Books! You want hard copies of everything. These are actually my binders where I print out recipes that I really like. Not just recipes though, I print out everything, okay? I print out if I ever want to learn how to make cheese in the future, I print it out. And sometimes I'll even get the supplies so that in the future, I don't know, sometime way in the future, I'll be able to do this stuff, right? As many hard copies of things that I possibly can so that I can refer back to it whenever I need to, okay? If I have an idea of I want to make a rainwater collection bucket down the future, I'm going to find the plans, print it out, and then I'll do that in the future, or whatever the case may be, okay? So you want to be able to be ready for that future. And as well as if you have kids, again, just morale items, for them, for you, books, journals, crafts, all these things, incredibly important. Make the bug out bags. I've always believed in bug out bags and I always will, for one very important fact. You never know when you may have to escape your home. Now, this doesn't mean that every scenario is going to be like this. If you have a fire in your home, yeah, you're going to have to leave, and you're going to only be able to carry a few things before you're able to have to get the heck out of that house. If it's a lot of scenarios, like if it is a war-torn or civil unrest, maybe you won't be leaving your home, right? Because you'll be doing some other things to fortify your home. I'm going to talk about in just a second. But I always recommend a bug out bag, because if things do get really, really dangerous and you just don't feel safe in your place anymore, you may have to leave. And if that's a decision you may have to make, that's where your bug out plan comes into place as well. I have a link down below to where you can go check out how to make a bug out plan. Hygiene. Hygiene is still going to be incredibly important. Brushing your teeth, going to the bathroom, taking baths or showers, whatever the case may be, you're going to need proper hygiene. So, keep with the toothbrushes, stock up on toothpaste, make your own toothpaste from baking soda and coconut oil, whatever you got to do. Stock up on the much needed supply. I do both. I stock up on coconut oil and baking powder, and I also get toothpaste, right? It doesn't hurt to just have our options, okay? I have a bucket. I've done a video about how to make a bucket toilet, right? There's lots of ways for alternative showers. I have this video where I talk about this pump system where you fill it up with water and then it's like a little tiny shower. There's also little solar showers. We used that for a while when we were off grid. That was really useful and helpful for us when we didn't have running water. There's waterless soap, which is right here. I love this stuff, and all these links are going to be down below in the description in case you're ever interested in them. Baby wipes are okay for really short-term stuff, but I really wouldn't rely on it to make you clean, because that's not really the purpose of baby wipes. You're not washing your baby with a baby wipe, every day and expecting your baby to be clean. No, you still give them baths, right? So a baby wipe is not meant to be a alternative to actually getting clean. Security. Secure your home. Get window alarms, get door alarms. And these are things that can easily be found on Amazon. You don't have to get a whole security system for this stuff. But get door alarms. You could even get the little driveway alarms in case people come up into your driveway. Maybe you just have a really long driveway, or maybe you just want to know if somebody's coming up. You can get cameras. I like cameras, motion sensor cameras, motion sensor lights. Those are really effective. The hardwire cameras are really the best ones instead of the Wi-Fi ones. If you can get a hardwire camera system, that's great, because you can still see what's going on, and it's recording, all the time, but you don't have the potential of being hacked. So hardwired camera systems are pretty swell. But other than that, just secure your home and secure yourself. Get training in self-defense, whatever self-defense weapons or, hand-to-hand combat or whatever you want to do. Be situationally aware. All these things, you need to start working on this stuff now. Alternative heating and cooling. I've done entire videos that talk about alternative heating and cooling. These are things that you should be working on right now to secure them. A little Mr. Buddy heater is a really good start. They're pretty cost effective. You can get that for heat. Making your own little cooler, your evaporative cooler, if you're in a drier place, is really good. I also have this other video that talks about how to make a cooler that is for more humid areas. So, pick which options are going to be best for you. You may also need some battery-powered fans, be able to plug in fans with your alternative energy solutions. So whether you have a gas generator, diesel generator, propane generator, whole house generators, solar generators, whatever you have. I like to have a variety of them, and then make sure that you have solar panels to be able to charge it. Make sure you have plenty of gas or diesel, and you're switching it out as necessary, or propane or whatever you're using, your fuel sources for, and keep those handy for when the lights go out. Of course, you're going to want plenty of lighting. Oh, blinding, lots of lights and headlamps and everything that you can charge via those alternative sources, or you have plenty of batteries, rechargeable batteries, all these things. The information is power. There is such a thing called information warfare, and if you're on the right side of things through just an AM/FM radio, or with ham radio, or CB radio, or GMRS, or whatever type of radios that you can get your hands on, this is key, especially ham radios and GMRS and CB. This is key information that you could be getting from the community. You could be hearing from the other side of a city or state what is going on and what could potentially be heading your way, and you can relay information as well. Information is incredibly powerful. So get the ham license if you don't have it, or get a CB and start with that, or your GMRS license. Or of course, still think a NOAA weather radio and AM/FM radio can be just as handy sometimes for different types of information. Social media and the internet can be a great place for information, but it can also be a great place for misinformation. And also, if those places are suddenly restricted because of wartime or whatever the case, then you will absolutely be dying for those ham radios and other assets to you to be able to get information and relay information. Have plenty of alternative cooking options. Natural gas, propane, these are still things that we rely on from a third party, right? Especially if you have like an electric oven. These are things, energy resources that rely on from a third person. They're not really self-sufficient. So those may be able to last a short time or, a long time, depending on how much you have or whatever, or, if the natural gas is cut off one day or whatever. I don't know. We just don't know. But if we can find some wood, if we can, put together a fire, then we can cook with that, in a safe, effective ways. I've cooked over our big solo stove. This is a little solo stove. I also have a rocket stove. You can make a rocket stove, make a hobo stove. Gosh, you can just do so much, and there are just a million and one ways to cook. So find these alternative ways that work best for you. I do recommend gas masks as well as the filters, of course, because you just never know whether it's a really extreme fire, right? And you don't want to be inhaling that smoke and you have to get away. You could put on the gas mask for a few minutes while you're having to pack the car or something like that. Or whether it's a more extreme scenario in which you might need a gas mask. But these are things that can come in handy for the whole family, short-term purposes. You wouldn't be wearing a gas mask for days and days on end, usually. But these are pretty handy to have. I know, you've probably gotten to this point and you're like, why hasn't she said anything about skills and knowledge? Well, I have said a few things here and there, right? Learn to cook, learn to grow, learn those alternative energy needs. There's a lot of things I've talked about in this video that are going to be helpful to you. I get really frustrated when preppers or anybody say, well, skills and knowledge cost nothing. Yes, but these are tools that we can use that, yes, might cost us a little something of buying it as well as learning to use it. But this is part of our arsenal, okay? This is part of our arsenal. All the tools can work it together with knowledge and skills, okay? I need seeds in order to grow a garden, you know what I mean? I can save those seeds and I can learn how to do that. I can swap, plants with other people in the community. That's great. But I still need, soil and compost, and I didn't learn to make the compost, and I need the seeds, to actually grow things, right? Combining your knowledge with skills, with the physical tools at your disposal is all part of preparedness. Last but not least, community. I've talked about this over and over and over again, and throughout this video, you've probably heard little snippets here about your community. But it is wildly important that you get involved in your community. I have met so many great people and gotten involved in so many great things because I just got out to the community. Go to farmers markets, go to local festivals, go find the local people in your area, talk to them and get to know them. You don't have to be BFFs, but just get to know your local community. And especially if you do go to like a community garden, you can really get to know people, get to know your neighbors. The more specifically, get to know in like a very small radius. Starting to get to know your neighbors now is going to benefit you in the future if things do go down, okay? You have allies. You have people that you can go to and say, hey, let's band together, let's help each other, we got this, right? Because we're stronger in a community, period. The moral of the story is you can get prepared today so you can conquer tomorrow. no matter what comes our way. These are glimpses into how you can be prepared. I have tons of videos and blogs, even books, that you can go learn more about this. Not just from me, but from just so many other people in this great prepping community. And if you ever have any questions, please reach out to me down below. Join my newsletter. Subscribe to this channel. Do all the things. I know I've asked you to do a lot during this video, and it seems overwhelming. But you know what you do? You start with step 1, and that's just starting somewhere. Go grab a couple cans of food during your next grocery store visit. Why don't you research how to can and preserve food that you're going to grow, right? Why don't you research how and then actually try to make some fires, right, in your backyard and cook with that, that meal for that day. Just try these little things every once in a while. Once a week is all I'm really asking for, okay? I will have challenges on my blog every month, just about every month rather, that talks about giving you actionable prepping tips and tells you exactly how to do these things. So be sure to subscribe to that newsletter down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.